Hello, and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Riancho. Today is Thursday, August 6th, 4 p.m. Pacific. We got a live stream bit earlier than typical, but who cares? Let's draft. Oh, we need the intro. An impromptu stream, and we're here to get after it. If you're ready, let's find the contest for today. I think I'll do a pit bull, honestly. I think I'm gonna do a pit bull. Yeah, if you're last I checked, there's like 3 people watching. So if you want to join the pit bull, there's 10 spots. Come on and get it. Ready to go, ready to roll. What's up, Jerry? How we doing? Let's go indeed. Excited for the stream, excited for the day. Got some plans with my girlfriend later. So not going to be streaming live later tonight, but getting it in like we do nearly every day. Usually it's like a 6-day per week average, basically. But here we are today on a Thursday. Aloha, Air Jeff. How we doing? How we doing? Aloha. This lobby's halfway full. If you want to get in, not only are you trying to compete against me, you're also trying to beat Jiri. Fuck. This one might be tough. Jamie's in here. Smoke it if you got it. I'm going to be disappointing y'all in about 20 minutes. I'm going to disappoint some folks. Let's just let you down easy real quick. I'm on the tolerance break. If you watched the Pro Fanatics Part 2 collab stream, I did take an edible last night, but I totally forgot I had it. I saw it, and my girlfriend gave it to me. I didn't buy it, so it was totally off my radar. It's like been in my drawer for like a week. So I did take an edible yesterday, but that just postpones the tolerance break a little bit. We will go back to the tolerance break. So in 18 minutes, I am not smoking weed at 420. It's tough, but sometimes you got to do what's tough. Anyways, thank you for popping in, everyone. We got Greg Hughes in here. What's up? Nice to see you. Not sure I'm familiar, Greg. Maybe I'm just a stoner and forgot, but believe this might be the first time I've seen you. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us. Nick Constantino in here. Yo, how we doing? Misconstrued. Oh, let's do something to entertain me while driving home. Yeah, let's go. Glad we can offer some entertainment. We have 4 spots left, as mentioned. This is a pit bull. If you would like to join, it's going to be a tough lobby, but boy, if you can get out of it, if you can finish top 2, your chances are very, very strong of making some money back. We got a 1 out of 6 pod in week 15, 1 out of 5 in week 16, and then 156 people in the final. Like the number alliteration or whatever you want to call it. 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5, and then 156 in the final. I like that. I like that. But up top, there's a lot of money up for grabs. 100K to first, 50K for second. Third place gets 25. Fourth place gets over 17K. 15,000 for fifth. It's pretty fucking dope. Even if you finish 10th, you get 10K. And then even 20th still gets 2,500. Yo, this is a good fucking contest. To max it, you can only spend $200 on those 10 bullets. If you do make the final, you get a minimum $500 if you min cash. So ideally, we're finishing in the top 10 at the very least. But this lobby is full. We are ready to go. Let's get it going. The Jedi Loco saying we need some OG Bud Brownies right about now. Given I got to be driving in about 2.5, 3 hours, that may not be the best play, but you know what? I will live vicariously through Jiri this afternoon. Jiri is smoking. He gets pick 2, of course. Of course, Jiri gets a fucking top 2 pick. Watch you get Gibbs. Watch Libra, who's probably watching right now. Watch Libra. How we doing, Sandra? I think that... No, I don't think Sandra is Libra. Apologies. I know Libra watches, though. If Libra passes on Bijan, that'd be fucking hilarious. If Jiri still got Gibbs. But what's up, Mr. Mufasa? I saw you won that giveaway on Huhaim's stream. Lucky you, brother. Lucky you. But what's up, Anthony? Howdy. How we doing? Nick says, how long of a break do you take? I feel it out. I feel it out. It's a minimum like 3 to 5 days, typically. Minimum 3 days. However, sometimes it goes a couple weeks. Sometimes I've done... When I lived in Minnesota, I actually took a 10-month break, if you can believe that. But, no, we live in California once again. And it's definitely not going to be more than like 10 days max, probably. I would say on the shorter end of the spectrum, it would only be 3 days. Longer end of the spectrum, it would be about 10. But I did take some shrooms. No, I took a gummy last night. I took 30 milligrams last night. It was actually kind of nice. But misconstrued, imagine I crash trying to draft Derrick Henry at 5. I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. If that's what you want to do, be my guest. But yeah, we do love the numerology. Always nice. Always nice. How many spots left? I think Air Jeff, I don't think you're in here. So we have pick 7. I'll stick with Amon-Ra. Officially pick 7 in the ADP. I will go Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jiri took Bijan. I get his boy Amon-Ra. But misconstrued, are you at pick 12? Oh, okay. Instead of taking him at 5 at pick 12. I believe that's what you're saying. Not sure how you typoed 5 when you meant to type 12, but good luck. I know you're not at pick 12, though, because that's Dildo Schwaggins. Dildo, good luck, brother. In this lobby, we had Libra at the 101, Jiri hoodied at pick 2, Circa 1991 at pick 3, Lone Wolf, who took Puka, JDN34 at the 5 spot, Ant15 at pick 6. I got pick 7. Keith, our boy Super Beast, at pick 8. He gets a team review. He's a member. Good evening, sir. Salute to you as well. Nobo Socks at pick 9 took Taylor. King Kaz in the house. How we doing? Nick, nice to see ya. He took Jefferson. And then Give Me Fortune. It's actually not a bad username there. Took Genty at 11. Paired him up with Saquon, and then Dildo Schwaggins took Derrick Henry. James Cook, I like that you pulled up Henry to pick 12. But maybe you got the confidence from misconstrued may have given you the idea to draft Henry at pick 12, perhaps. But that's a very legit pick. Henry's very strong. Very, very strong. I would love... Damn, sweet. We get Chase Brown over Achane. Love that. Love that. Double week 6 bye, but who cares? Who the fuck cares? Need me some Gibbs, says Jiri. Slightly richer than Bijan now. That is accurate. Yeah, he got the contract a bit incentive laden, but yeah, he did get the deal, and you knew he was gonna get it. Was never worried. Never in question. But Jerry says, I took 3 months off to start this year. Actually feels good to have a break. Yeah, there is the that first smoke that you take when you do get back to it is like one of the best fucking feelings ever. You get so faded so quickly, and it like really lasts a while. So sometimes you want to go back to that feeling. A tolerance break can really pay off some dividends. 3 months. I'm definitely not going to wait 3 months, but sometimes your body just asks for it. Got to listen to the nervous system. But Anthony, preseason kicks off tonight. Y'all watch the Hall of Fame game? I mean, maybe that first couple drives, but not gonna lie, I don't watch a ton of preseason football. I'll watch a few drives, but I don't put a ton of stock into it. It's just kind of like, oh, thank God, football's back. That's kind of the main selling point for preseason football. But gotcha. Well, cheers, everyone. We are officially in round 3, and looks like Jiri likes the Jeremiah Love pick. He does take Jeremiah Love at 26. But yo, what's up, Best Ball on Call? We are not burning trees tonight. This Today we are not burning trees, unfortunately. But disbanded, I do a 3-day tolerance break every now and then with THC and shrooms. It's like 3 on, microdose, 2 off, and repeat with a macro on the weekend here and there and special occasions. I love that you have it down to a science, disbanded. That's the one thing about shrooms. If you want to take them a lot, you have to take some breaks just mixed in due to the nature of like how the tolerance gets set up. But at pick 31, am I just McBride here? I don't really want to do it, but I think I actually will. Today, we'll go Trey McBride. We'll mix it in. It doesn't feel great, but if I am going to draft an Arizona Cardinal, I do think oh, fuck. I got my ranks in. Okay, well, we just stick to the ranks. The ranks, I thought the top of the queue would have just fucking gone with it. Damn it. I guess we're not going Trey McBride. Honestly, I'm not upset about it at all. Whatever. Kyron, come on down. Got no issue with that. Have no issue with that. But is Gibbs better than Bijan? I think the situation is a little bit better. I think we can trust the Lions offense and their O-line a little bit more. That I think is the main selling point, but like the nuances between the two are very minimal. I would still say Bijan from just a talent standpoint is slightly better than Gibbs. He was drafted just above him for many reasons, but it's not a big difference. I would lean Bijan from just a pure talent standpoint. Hard to find a running back more talented than Bijan Robinson, but JT Alford, what's up? Because I'm burnt out on this ish. Time to take a break, perhaps. But Danimal, how we doing? What's up, big hitter? What's up? All right. On the clock, Waddle's still here. I mean, I've kind of come around to just taking Allen when he falls. At 42, I'm just going to take Josh Allen. Fuck it. 42? Yeah, why not? This will be an Allen team. It's been easier to justify lately because I'm so underweight on Allen. When he went in the third, it was like never really a strong, worthy pick. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I did not take Trey McBride. I would not have liked the rainbow strategy as much. We go Allen at 42. Let's live a little, shall we? But when you grow and breed, you have to, though. I'm sure there are some people who are reading this. I know what you're talking about. But this has a very legit double entendre. Are you growing and breeding, disbanded? Is that what's happening? Good to know. Quincy says I'll put it on in the background. I'm just excited for football. Gotcha. Yeah, that's a fair way to play it. At least the first quarter. I might have some interest. Once we get to halftime, I have no interest at all in the Hall of Fame game with all the third stringers. But Pepper Tony, nice to see you, brother. I don't listen to anybody, including my own body. If there's any voice you should listen to, it's your inner voice. So I do not endorse this mentality, Pepper Tony. Listen to someone, even yourself. But talk me out on Love. Algier is getting a lot of reps already. It's the Cardinals, Jerry. It's the Cardinals. But you can't stop clicking in round 3. Too much upside in the playoffs. You have to get there. And with Bijan, it's definitely easier to envision yourself making it. But I just think he's a low advanced piece. I know I've heard you mention this many times, and I do agree with your stance on the upside in the playoffs. But I know you're not going to like this take. You're going to disagree with this. I think Cam Scatabo can outscore Jeremiah Love this season. I think he will. I think as long as both are healthy, I would rather have Scatabo straight up than Jeremiah Love from a redraft standpoint, managed situation. Give me Scatabo on my team going much later. But you do you, Jerry. Stick to your gun, stick to your intuition. You've made a lot of profit in the past. You know what you're doing. I respect the call on Jeremiah, but I don't love it. I don't love it. All right, I'm on the clock here. Evans fell? Hell yeah. I think if anything, he needs to be moving up right now. I mean, if you want to be scared about the age situation and, injury risk, the substation, go ahead. But with Ricky Pearsall going down, I'm just trying to get Mike Evans even more. So at 55, insta-click, in my opinion. But, yeah, just one last button on Love. I don't really want to bet on the committee on a team with a bad O-line and, just so many variables. They want to run the ball more, but I just don't think he's going to be enough of a workhorse to compensate for the lack of touchdown production. And I think week in, week out, that volatility will be very frustrating. But maybe I have more of a season-long redraft mentality. Maybe that's what's like really gauging how I feel about it. Perhaps that is my bias. Perhaps that frames the discussion. But very talented player, no doubt about that. I just don't like the situation. But Quincy asking disbanded. Has he met the machine elves? If there's someone in the chat I would assume has met them, it would be disbanded. And yes, he has. Your intuition, Quincy, was correct. What's up, Mike Lone Wolf Games? Finally made it in one, been a while. Which pick are you? Can you please remind... Oh, you have Lone Wolf. You have pick 4. Lone Wolf, good to see you, man. You get a team review as well. Thank you for being a member of the Blunt Rotation. Speaking of blunts, I've labeled this song Blunt Shrooms. We are back on the board. Damn it. That's the only bummer of taking Allen. Here, it's not that ideal. Boy, I hate all these picks. I'm actually going to mix in Marvin Harrison today. We're going to do it. I can't believe it, but I got very little of him. We did not take Trey McBride, so maybe that was just the fantasy gods letting me pivot to Harrison today. We did have a little brain fart on Trey McBride earlier, and, we're just pivoting. We're sticking in Arizona just a little bit. There's been some conflicting reports. Obviously, he looked like ass in some of the viral videos. He's looked like ass in the past, but there's also some rumors that he's also been really killing it since that clip went viral. And who knows, maybe they're gonna go full throttle on the target share with Harrison this year. I don't love this pick, but I think the way I've built this team, if I didn't get Tyler Warren there, receiver made a lot of sense, and there just weren't that many picks that were that valuable. So why not just mix in a random Harrison share? I don't have a lot, but let's do it for once. But the elves are the architects, but who are the architects for the elves? That's a very good question, Petey. It's a very, very good question. When you stare at the void stares back. Indeed. But yeah, 42 for Allen. If you're gonna ever take him, why not there, right? Why not past pick 40? Why not do it? But indeed. JT, I quit growing after age 50. JT used to be a grower, apparently. Now he's just a shower. But Pepper Tony, yeah, sorry. Haven't been around. Out of town for 2 weeks for job training during draft season. Come on, job. Right? Can you just resign? Can you just go on instant vacation? That seems appropriate. But mad respect to the discipline, Pepper Tony. Nice to have you back. But Quincy, Adam, can you do like an old team review of the teams you drafted in BBM from a few months back to see values and stuff? You know what? Sure, we could take a look at that a little bit. Yeah, I might want to go over to the solver so that I can see all like the CLV and stuff. That might be a useful thing to do, actually. We can do that. Yeah. How about after this draft, before our next one, we will take like 2 to 5 minutes to do that. How about that? Sounds like a fun idea. All right, back on the clock. Herbert is here. However, with Allen with a week 7 bye, I'm not going to take Herbert. Caleb fell, though. Of all the times I want to take Caleb, unstacked. I mean, none of these picks are great right now. Typically, I'm just Herbert. So I'll just go and unstack Caleb Williams. We'll just go really, really strong at quarterback. Fuck it. Caleb Williams, 79. Come on down. Unstacked. I don't give a shit. Sorry to Keith. He had Romadunze right next to me. Bummer. That's a bummer. But the Loveland drafter, Lone Wolf, did pass. He had A.J. Brown and Traven Henderson, so he went Drake May. And then he took Quentin Johnston over Caleb Williams. That's interesting. But I'm getting really strong at quarterback. I'm obviously done for the rest of the draft. And who knows? Maybe I'll go with some of those random backstacks on Caleb. There's a couple that actually have piqued my interest that no one else really has that often. Jade Walker, one of those names. Cole Kmet, actually. This might be a Cole Kmet team, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Disbanded. I don't have enough lifetimes to grow and breed all the genetics I've acquired over the years. Good luck. Jiri says it feels so wrong but so right to pick him at the same time. The talent is very, very much there, but the situation is just gross. I don't like to bet on Arizona as much as some other people. And in round 3, it just feels a little disgusting. But maybe I'm underselling the coach. They did get an upgrade after Jonathan Gannon was there last year. Drew Petzing calling the plays. They get a Sean McVay disciple, also the brother of Matt LaFleur. Mike LaFleur, who knows what's going to happen there. But on the clock here, a little gross, but I think I'm just going to go Kyle Manungai. Get some correlation to Caleb. It's not maybe the best stack to have, but I think in this round, he's a fine pick. Dowdle was off the board. Brooks was off the board. Blake Corum was off the board. So there was a strong run at RB right there, and I think it's fine to just get balanced once again. I could have just waited for like a Brock Purdy or a Jared Goff. Maybe the unstacked quarterbacks are a little bit mid in this one, but based on who I have, I just care about the points. I am also a little worried about advancing in this pod, so just having the best quarterback room overwhelmingly maybe does help me out a little bit. But one of my first 7 picks will give me a bagel every week. It is going to be on the bench at QB. Maybe that's not the best way to play it, but we got the fall on Allen, the fall on Caleb. I'm willing to go for it today, but I cannot take another quarterback. That is for sure. That is not the play. No doubt about it. We're done at QB. But, bro, he is currently injured. It's not just a risk. It's a fact. Who we talking about, fantasy football enjoyer? I am kind of far behind on the chat, so I forgot the context. Let me try and catch up real quick. Quincy, I like starting RB like CMC, HN, and then getting love. You get safe floor and advancement RBs, then love's playoff upside. So you want to go triple running back. I rarely see love fall to like pick 6, so you kind of have to reach on CMC perhaps to get that. If you get Jeremiah Love at 30, it feels way, way better than taking him at pick 24, 25. But I think once Nico, Rashee Rice, all those receivers went off, I do understand Jiri's stance to just go Jeremiah Love. I do think that's a very legit rank if you just want that position. But sweet, Michael Pittman fell back. Hell yeah, I need some receiver points for sure. Michael Pittman, 103. It's been a minute since I've seen him here, and that would have sucked to pass on him for someone like Brock Purdy just instead. But wow, Stephon Diggs went at pick 101 above Michael Pittman. That's pretty interesting. I'm not going to be drafting Diggs at that price. He's probably worth it, but as someone who had a shit ton of bags and Diggs in the pre-draft at pick like 150, I had a lot of him. I took a bunch of him at the 130s and stuff. I'm not taking Diggs at 101. I got all my bags packed. I have over I believe it's 17% Stephon Diggs so far, so I think I'm just done. I don't really want to do it. Maybe stacked, I can understand it, but I don't really want to do it that much. But sorry about more. I have Cook though. Oh, don't worry about that, man. Do not worry. Wait, misconstrue. Is this Dildo Schwaggins? Did you change your name? That would check out. The only Moore I got sniped on was DJ Moore, but there's no way I expected him at 66. So misconstrued. Are you Dildo Schwaggins? Did you change it? Please don't tell me that I'm correct on that. I kind of prefer if it's someone else. But the enjoyer says it was Evans who got injured. I mean, no risk it, no biscuit. That's my take. I think Evans put 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns written into the contract. I think that's what you can expect from Evans. So, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to be panicked though on Evans. As long as he's healthy, he's totally worth Pick 55, 100%. But perhaps you've been drafting with Meg too much. I don't think so. I think I've drafted with Meg the perfect amount, if not enough. If anything, we have Meg scheduled for the channel next week. Next time she's available, next Friday, Meg will return to the channel. I'll go George Kittle. I'll take Kittle. Yeah. Kittle, totally valid pick. Similar to Evans, you know, the injuries, just bet on the veterans that we already like in San Francisco a little bit more. But PD Piranha, I think Travis Etienne is a better pick than Love just because it's a better offense and equally as good of a playoff schedule. Well, at the moment, Travis is going in the 4th, so value-wise, I do think that's a decent call. I was a believer in Travis before he started to fall, so I've kind of stopped taking him a little bit just because I have some bags and, you know, it's a cheaper price. I do mix him in a decent amount, but Travis is kind of a weird bet at the moment. I still trust him. I don't think Kamara is going to crater his value, but a little bit hard to pin down exactly what's going to happen in New Orleans in that offense. But Travis, I think, a very legit pick. I'm not afraid to still take Travis, especially in the 4th round. But I don't think I would be taking him above Jeremiah as of today, just because I don't think I want to miss out on the falling price. I'll just take Travis on other teams in the 4th round that are going, you know, when he falls to me there with a later pick. But yeah, the 6th round is very, very difficult sometimes. Very tough. It's ideal to just go quarterback or at worst Tyler Warren. And that's why sometimes the Josh Allen pick feels like a bummer. But we got Caleb at 79. It's as if we took him at 66 unstacked and then got Harrison at 79. It's whatever. But PD says I'm like 20% QJ because of that dead zone. That's understandable, actually. That's legitimately understandable. I have like 27% QJ, but I had most of it when he was in the 8th round and the 9th. There was a time when you could get QJ much, much cheaper. In BBM, I don't take QJ anymore because there's going to be teams you have to compete with in BBM. Or the Eliminator, teams like contests like that have been open for a while, where he went at pick 100, if not later. So he's moved up 30 picks since the end of April, since the contest dropped. And I'm not quite sure what to make of it. But damn it, Jerry, you go Dalton Kincaid at 122. Can't let me have some fun. Can't let me backstack Josh Allen on this one. That's a bummer. I was very hopeful I would get a Kittle paired up with Kincaid on this team. That is a bummer. Not going to lie. Tempted to go Aaron Jones, but he has the same bye week as Chase Brown. I guess I'll just go Khalil Shakir. I'm going to need receiver points. Amon-Ra, Evans, Harrison, Michael Pittman, Khalil Shakir. A couple of really good floor plays. Maybe some injury risk on Evans, but not enough to scare me away. And then just bust potential on Harrison. But then the anchor, just elite option in Amon-Ra. Receivers coming together. Quarterback is extremely strong. Very strong with Allen and Caleb Williams. Perhaps I should have just taken a running back instead of Caleb, though. But to pull up one of the guys that went in the 8th would have felt a little bit grosser. We have Caleb and Kalman on guy. That's good enough. That's fine. So this team is interesting. I'm a little worried about my running back position. Not going to lie. It's maybe not the most compelling I've ever built. But it's also not bad. It's still fine. But yeah, that 6-7 turns a wasteland. That is why I have so much Justin Herbert. But Fantasy Football Enjoyer, I'm 45% Devontae Smith. Average price is low 50s. Sleeper is ridiculous. Holy shit. On Sleeper, that's worth it. On Underdog, I would never question. Maybe question's not the right word. I would never invest in Devontae Smith at 45% in the 3rd round. That would be ridiculous on Underdog. But on Sleeper, maybe it's different. I do not draft over on Sleeper, but heard you're supposed to stare at a red laser. Have you seen the code? I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. But Dallas Goedert still here. Love Goddard. I will scoop up Dallas Goedert happily. Happily give me Dallas Goedert. 138. He's always deserved to rise up. And apparently Devontae Smith and Mekhi Lemon are a little banged up from what I heard. We'll see. But fuck it. At some point, you just got to say fuck it. Quincy, I don't mind double elite QB. I just think about how much of an advantage you'll have in the playoffs. Yeah, on occasion, I want to have teams like this that are built, especially, it's not like I have many Josh Allen teams. So, like, they should all be kind of different. It's very easy to just fall into like a Josh Allen, Cam Ward, something like that. This team would have been actually pretty ideal for Brock Purdy, not going to lie. But we got Pittman instead. I almost took Pittman where I took Monangai. And it's also very fun to just have like two studs that can both win MVP. As long as they have the same bye week, it's pretty fun. But yeah, Jade Walker might be on this team. That's also possible. We could backstack Caleb with Detroit. Technically, yeah, we do have that. We do have the bring back Caleb with Kyle Monangai versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. That could be decent, but maybe that Jalen Johnson matchup does limit Amon-Ra a little bit. The Bears have a decent secondary, not going to lie, but at least Hackett isn't calling the plays. Yeah, I mean, that's another factor with Arizona. The offensive coordinator is Hackett, but is he not playing? I haven't checked if he's actually the play caller or not. But yeah, the Nathaniel Hackett aspect of the bet is also pretty gross. That's definitely a sign that they might just fuck up their potential with Jeremiah Love. But Diggs, super live to outscore Terry. This I disagree with. Unless Terry goes down, I wouldn't say that. I would not bet on that. Wasn't Diggs kind of washed? Not much ceiling. His best games were the 3 weeks when Kayshon Boutte was out. He almost never hit the end zone on a team where Drake May was like really trying to score some touchdown passes. He almost never did that until Kayshon Boutte was out. So I think the only reason you can predict more points than Terry is if you're convinced Terry goes down. I would not agree. Diggs will outscore Terry. Will he be worth pick 101? Possibly. But when you have so much of him at 130, 150, it's not worth it to me. McMillan apparently got hurt, so not dying to do it. I think I'm just going to take my boy, Tank motherfucking Bigsby. Come on down. Come on down. We have 2 week 10 buys, but I think this is definitely like a 6 running back build, so I'm not afraid of it. Our double bet on Philly. This is my favorite way to play it with Tank Bigsby and Dallas Goedert in Philadelphia. A team I want to bet on and some tremendous upside. We get the bring back as well versus Evans and Kittle. So some nice bring backs so far. The team's coming together. Running back a little bit risky, but not enough to be scared. Quarterback's just elite. And then receiver has pretty balanced depth so far. And then a nice fall on a guy like Evans and Pittman. Pretty decent, but the Strawberry Later character, ball, says Quincy. But 1K yards 1 year off an ACL tear with a 52% snap share last year. Still can ball. Diggs was impressive last season, but his best games came when Kayshon Boutte was out. That's not a glowing endorsement when you really think about it. It's a little risky actually, but receivers starting to dry up these days. Damn. Very tempted to just take the fall on McMillan, but I'm gonna pass again. He goes to Super Beast, so I don't even have to worry about it. Isaiah Pacheco has fallen 10 picks in this one. Has the same buy though as Chase Brown. I'll go Isaiah Pacheco. I'll go Zach Charbonnet, actually. I've talked myself into Charbonnet being a very interesting pick. This might not be the best way to build a roster for Zach Charbonnet, but I really like him as the RB5 on a team. We're trusting Chase Brown and Kyron, and then we're kind of just hoping that we get some late season points out of Bigsby and Charbonnet, and then maybe Monungai offers some weekly floor. But in week 11, we'll be fine, even though Kyron has the same bye. Maybe in week 10, though, we don't get anything out of Charbonnet, and that could be tricky. But I think it's going to be okay. I think this team's going to be okay, and we still have some late options as well. But Jaden Blue at 159, I've noticed he goes in round 14 a lot right now. The hype train on Jaden Blue starting to look a bit more like it was last year. We'll see what happens. But Devin says, don't apologize to him for sniping. Blunt sniped Gadsden from me last week, and I'm obviously still recovering. I apologize, Devin. I mean, based on the recent camp reports, the Gadsden stack is not something you want right now. But if you're in a lobby with me, whether it's intentional or not, it's either me or someone else. Someone's getting sniped. Someone is getting sniped many different times. That's just the nature of the game, but especially in a nice and blunt lobby. Seems like a trend. But too many experts in that lobby got in the overflow yesterday with a lot of no badgers. You know, that does feel like a slightly easier way to advance. But Anthony sending me a chili for 6 jewels. Appreciate that, Anthony. Thank you for the virtual gift. I will eat that chili for the spice. Nick says Goff over Stafford there, Lone Wolf. He had Laporta. I think that's fine. He did have Puka as well. I think that's okay. I think it was purely for the sake of the quarterback bye week. He had Drake May as well. So if he took Stafford, he would have been locked into the double week 11 bye. And he had a correlating bet, a stack with both quarterbacks. So I think Goff at 117 is very legit. Neither run the ball. Stacked up with Laporta. Totally fine with that. With Drake May, the week 11 bye becomes a factor you might want to avoid. So I think it's justified. I understand the decision there from Lone Wolf to go Goff over Stafford. But a good fall on both of them. If not for the bye, it would have made perfect sense to go Matthew Stafford. Kenyon Sadiq goes. I did not want him, so that's perfectly fine. There's some interesting news going on with Josh Jacobs. Apparently he got hurt. Running back is dwindling, so another week 11, but who cares? There's a world where he's just productive, and I really want the 6th running back on this team. So I'll go Marshawn Lloyd today. Might have reached way too high, but if Josh Jacobs suffered an injury, maybe it's worth playing the Marshawn Lloyd angle. But sitting out due to groin injury on Thursday, 8 hours ago, this was reported by The Athletic. Jacobs' injury isn't believed to be anything concerning. The star running back continues to top a Packers depth chart that also includes Marshawn Lloyd and Chris Brooks. That's what we know already. Monitor his practice participation, but he is not expected to see extensive preseason action, even if fully healthy. The Packers will kick off their preseason slate. All right, yeah, so a groin injury, not ideal for Jacobs, makes Lloyd a little bit more appealing, but due to the nature of this team, I'm just kind of like, give me a running back that maybe could just really, really pop off. There is some upside there, but yeah, I would imagine, Nick, you are spot on with that week 11 situation. But how is Chig affected by the Diggs signing? I would assume he scores a lot less touchdowns than people were hopeful for. I think he should fall back into the 13th round. I like him straight up with like Strange, Hunter Henry, and Juwan Johnson, more so than like right next to Dallas Goedert. I think Goddard has more upside. Chig has never eclipsed 80 targets. Meanwhile, Hunter Henry has 2 straight seasons with over 90. So I think he should be more in the same tier as them, as opposed to where he goes around earlier. But maybe I should have held out for Ray Davis. Honestly, I kind of want to go with the 7th running back a little bit. I'm in the mood. Let's take Ray Davis. Why not? Let's really invest at running back. The 2.772. could work. We have some possibly worthless bets, and maybe that Marshawn Lloyd pick was just stupid, but this is a weird team for me. I actually like my receiver room quite a bit, though. I don't think I need more than 7. And then maybe it's very naive to just trust Kittle and Goddard, but I kind of don't give a shit. I think that's totally fine to stop at those 2. I think it's fine, but Jiri needed tight end. That Kincaid snipe was a little brutal, but that's totally fine. He's a good pick. He's a very valid good pick. In drafters, he goes at like pick 111, if not like 108. In drafters on that format, he goes way, way higher. That format is full PPR. I would say he's more valuable in half, actually, because of the touchdown potential. But he does get a lot of volume sometimes. I understand the full PPR bet as well. But PD, I think QJ is pretty much the same bet as Rome, just way cheaper. I don't know if I think he has the same true upside as Rome. I think Rome can have more targets and more production, but I don't think you're crazy to say that. I think there is still some room for QJ to rise and still actually pay off, even if he went at the 5-6 turn as opposed to the 6-7 turn. He could rise a full more round, and that's where Rome's going. So I don't think you're off base at all. I just think Rome is also a little undervalued. But yeah, the snipe train, it's your therapy. I'm glad we can satisfy the need for it, Devin. Glad you're happy with the snipes. But am I Naylor or Stribling half-point PPR best ball? I think straight up, if you're not factoring in like the contest and where Stribling used to go, I think I'd much rather just have Stribling. Straight up. If Jalen McMillan is hurt, I think I can totally talk myself into Ted Hurst a little bit more right now. 100%. But I will say the Kayshon Boutte hype train is kind of growing as well. And you know who else got hurt today? Romeo Doubs got banged up as well. Romeo Doubs started working off on the side, if not just sat out practice. What happened to Doubs today? Let me be accurate. Romeo Doubs misses another practice. Undisclosed, remains sidelined at practice on Thursday. He missed Wednesday as well. Undisclosed issue. Who knows what it is? He wears that Guardian cap because of the concussion history. I'll go Kayshon Boutte. I'll mix him in. That's fine. That's fine. Thank you, Disbanded, for sending the chili as well. A 6-jewel chili. It is Pika Pika. Indeed. That's what my mom says on spicy food. My mom is French, and she just turns into Pikachu whenever there's spicy food involved. But what's up, Young Moolah? Nice to see you. Just blaze it. Today, no. Today we're not going to blaze. We're on the tolerance break. Unfortunately, we did not capitalize on 420. But what's up, Goofy Chicken? I saw your message right before I went live on X. Just wanted to get back to it when I have the time, but definitely we'll plan something. Hopefully we'll have Goofy Chicken as a guest next week, assuming that gets coordinated properly. But round 18, I'm definitely motivated to coordinate that, so I think we will make it happen. But you know who's actually looking pretty good at training camp, and I have none of right now, is Keon Coleman. Apparently, Keon Coleman's actually looking kind of decent. Why not? Why the fuck not? Let's mix it in. I have Shakir, so I have the floor play. Let's go with Keon, the true upside swing. I did not get Kincaid. I would have much rather had Kincaid than either of these two stacks, but you know what? I don't take Allen too often. Let's go with the Keon Coleman share today. Let's get it. Let's do it. Here's the full recap. We go with a 2-7-7-2 with Josh Allen and Caleb Williams. That quarterback room is elite. And then at running back, we have a Chase Brown team with Kyron Williams. Honestly, the Kyron pick might save my ass. It allowed us to go with Allen the round after. Honestly, the Kyron mistake auto because of my rankings, honestly, may have saved me. But we have a lot of backups on this one. Let's hope for something to break in our direction. Kyle Monungai, though, has weekly value standalone production. He can hit the flex on occasion. And then if Swift ever goes down, we have a top 10 play paired up with Caleb Williams. But Tank Bigsby, the league winner, if Saquon goes down, reports are that he's mixing in with the ones. Actually, apparently his role is going to be expanded this season. Nice. Also, a little bit more standalone production than people think. But Charbonnet might just be healthier than people expect. That's also possible, but at the very least, after the bye, I think he will be scoring a bunch of touchdowns, so I like him for playoff purposes. If there is some injury concern on Josh Jacobs, then Marshawn Lloyd becomes a more valid pick. And for $1 auction level commitment, I think pulling him up at 175 is fine when you want to take a lot of running backs, like a team like this. I think having 7 with this type of build honestly feels kind of fun and interesting. This is a different team that I'm used to building, and it also has Ray Davis, so another Bills correlating piece. And if James Cook ever goes down, we have a top 12 play with Ray Davis. But receiver, that Amon-Ra anchor comes in nicely. The fall on Evans feels really valuable here. Harrison either hits or doesn't. Today we bet on it, but in general, I'm never doing it. However, I also get Michael Pittman Jr. at 103. I think that really saves the team, makes me feel pretty confident. The floor of Khalil Shakir, while it's not ideal, he can still score like 7 touchdowns potentially. The stack is there, and it kind of saves the team a little bit. It allows me to go with just 7. The floor on Shakir is pretty valuable, so that number 5 floor, I think, is pretty decent when you have Josh Allen. But I wish that pick was Dalton Kincaid. That's for sure. Kayshon Boutte, though, probably a decent pick right now, especially if Romeo Doubs does have some injury concern. But Boutte with some touchdown upside looked pretty good last season, and apparently looks good at camp. So why not? And then Keon Coleman, I believe this is like my second pick all summer on Keon Coleman. I never take him, but I have seen some clips from camp that make me a little bit more interested, not going to lie. For a completely free draft pick, why not? He dropped 21 points in week 1 of last season, also had some healthy scratches. Hopefully, year 3 is a little bit better. But the bet on George Kittle, a little risky, no doubt. But I also have Dallas Goedert, and I think these are both top 10 tight ends when healthy. I'm fine being a little bit fragile at tight end. I'm not afraid, because the upside is all I really need to bet on. The upside's totally there. I don't think I needed a third desperately. So maybe I drafted too many running backs. Perhaps I just should have taken one instead of Caleb. But honestly, I like this team from that unique standpoint. And then the volume at running back feels like a pretty interesting bet. Just one thing breaking in my direction really sends this team into the stratosphere in terms of upside. All of my running backs have like top 10 upside any given week. So that's pretty fun. Receiver has good floor play production. Tight end, a little bit risky in terms of injury risk. That's kind of the concern, but upside is not the problem. And then quarterback is just fucking nutted. So this team's interesting. This team's fun. In a pit bull, why not get a little bit risky? We have to make it out of the pod. However, if we do, our chances, I think, are decent to make the final. And I love the proposition of taking Allen against the Dolphins week 17. Caleb against the Lions week 17, also pretty interesting. So the bring back is there. We don't have a Dolphin, so who cares? But this team's fun. This team's interesting. I don't mind this team quite at all. But let me catch up with the chat. We'll do some team reviews after. Let's see. We have Lone Wolf, who's a member. He gets a team review. Super Beast also gets a team review. And then I don't think Dildo Schwaggins is a member. If you are, let me know. I don't think Nick Constantino is a member either. So King Cause doesn't get it. But out of curiosity, I will say, I will take a look at Jiri's team. But I don't think Libra is a member. I think Libra just watches, not a member. But I want to see if I like my team better than I like Jiri's. Let me catch up with the chat, though, first before we move on. But shoot green lasers into the flock cameras. Yes. For entertainment purposes, I agree with this statement. No one should do that. Pepper Tony has 40% QJ, 40% Zay Flowers on Underdog. Ask me anything. Holy shit. That's pretty fun, Pepper Tony. 40% in the 3rd round. That's kind of bold, but you are a fan. You are a fan of the Ravens. Yo, we got Devin Chan joining the blunt rotation. Appreciate that, brother. Are you in this draft with us? If you are, please let me know. I'll happily review your team. But at the moment, I'm not sure which team is yours. So let me know. If not, if you're not in this lobby, I just appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you very much for becoming a member. All right, let me try and speed through the chat real quick. But A-Rod got an Allen Lamar team recently that felt amazing at all positions. Both quarterbacks felt to me, so I said fuck it. Yeah, at some point you just have to take the falling value. At some point you just have to have some Allen teams. Why not? But Jerry says it's okay. I got skid marks. His plane has landed. We'll see about that. Let's catch up with the chat first. Jack Dog telling A-Rod to pause. LaFleur will be the play caller in Arizona, not Hackett. Just double checked. That's definitely a better situation. That's definitely much higher ceiling than if we had Hackett. But Jack Dog says Sharp has huge late season potential. I agree, especially when you have 7 running backs. You can totally tolerate a Charbonnet click. But the enjoyer, the fantasy football enjoyer, says I like how you think through the late round stacks and try to get unique. Sometimes you have to get a little bit different. That's the only way to really separate yourself. It's easy to like your team through like round 7, round 8, round 9, but the second half of the draft is where you potentially ship it and send it home. But Jaden Blue, he needed the money, says disbanded. Roman Stomper, sending Unk Alert for 444 joules. Appreciate that. Says, hey Blunt, small-time draft tuber here. First time catching you live, would love to collab sometime. Hit me up on Twitter, x.com, but I'll be honest, there has been a lot of like influx of people trying to fit my schedule, and especially if like you're new, there's an element of me that's like a little bit reluctant, but just because it's August, it's a little bit late. My schedule's pretty tight right now, so I'm not taking a ton of like just new schedules. I'd like to draft with some people I know, but maybe we can make something happen. Perhaps. If you're interested, send me a message on X, though. I might have a little bit of time, but not much availability the rest of the month. I got to start making videos, and I've really been procrastinating on that. So there is the element of just my schedule timing. So can't promise anything, but that sounds fun. There's been a few other people, though, who have asked me, and I feel like you might be in the queue, maybe not at the top, but there might be some priority ahead of you on new faces. But appreciate the inquiring. Maybe we can get something done, but not gonna lie, I can't guarantee anything for the month of August anymore. There's a lot of things clogging up my schedule right now. But Albie says, wow, I don't have to stay up past my bedtime to get some nice and blunt action. Yeah, today's a little bit different. You can thank my girlfriend and our evening plans. But Devin My Chance says this draft will be closure for sure, and then I'm back on Team Blunt. There's some typos here. I think I understand what you're saying, but appreciate that. Devin, are you in this? Gotcha. I think if you gift it and you don't have it, I think it just goes to you. I think that's what happens, Devin. When you gift it and you're not a member yourself, I think you just don't get it. But congrats, you received that gifted membership for yourself. Congrats. But where do I think Keenan Allen lands? I'm very convinced it's the Colts. I believe wholeheartedly it's the Colts. But Alex Faded, thank you for the chili, the gift. We got Devin, bonjour to Mrs. Blunt. I'm not married. I am not married. And my mother is divorced. So Mama Blunt, but not Mrs. Blunt. There is no Mrs. Blunt at the moment. But thank you, Disbanded, for the $100. No, you sent a 100. The 100 symbol for 2 joules. Wow. 2 joules got to be fucking worthless if I had to guess. But a Pika for moms. Yeah, Pika when it's spicy. I'll be watching that Week 17 Cowboys-Giants game closely, says Keith. That one should be a good one. That one should be a very, very fun one. But misconstrued, not a Memby. No worries. K-Space, we don't have a Dolphin, but who cares? I care, this Dolphins fan. I feel like I've pissed you off, K-Space, with the Dolphins hate. I didn't even put him in the poll. You know what? Let's start a new poll. Let's ask y'all another question. Which team wins the NFC South this year? We'll just go in order of last year. Panthers, Bucks. This one's completely up for grabs, so any team can win it. I'm gonna put all 4 teams in this one. The Falcons or the Saints. That poll is dropping right now. What up? Says K-Space DB. Elam is 73% filled. You maxing? I don't think I'm gonna max. If anything, I want to try and do a lot of survival contests on drafters, but we should probably do one today. Honestly, that's probably the move. Probably an eliminator up next, but what's up, Kenny the Jet? Just tuning in. Another draft after this, you know it, definitely, but cue me up. Thanks to the girlfriend. My bad, I'm cleaning it up, says Devin. Gotcha. Does my girl watch my live streams? When she's not working, she does keep it on in the background sometimes. Yeah, most of the time. She tells me she watches. I'll take her word for it. Most of the time, she does tune in. But yeah, Mama Blunt, not Mrs. Blunt. But married to the game, right? That's definitely the case. But what the fuck are these things I'm sending? I have no clue, Disbanded. I have no clue, but I appreciate it. You're sending me a happy poop for 10 jewels. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? They let you send something called a happy poop for only 10 jewels. That's pretty cheap. But yeah, shout out drafters. That contest is fire. Might have something in the works with them. They followed me on Twitter yesterday. I followed them back. I sent them a message. We'll see if maybe we can get a little promo code action going. But Pearsall bag holder, brutal, man. That's tough. I'm a Dolphins fan and I don't draft any Dolphins. Not even Achan? Damn. That's interesting. But okay, I finally caught up with the chat. Now let's do the team reviews as promised. Let's start with the members, shall we? We have 3 team reviews to do in this one. We're going to start off with Keith. Our boy Super Beast had pick 8. He goes Dak Prescott and Jackson Dart. Not bad, setting up that matchup week 17. Very fun. Also week 1, very fun. Double running back stack with Javonte and Cam Scatterbo. Very interesting way to play it. Rico Dowdle and Jordan Mason. Malik Davis as well. Wow, a Malik Davis sighting. I guess you do not believe in Jaden Blue whatsoever. But receiver says CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors is also the way to play it. So just a mega bet on that Cowboys-Giants game. If you do advance and you do make it there, it's a solid bet. But Roma Dunze at 56. I did not let you have the Caleb backstack. Maybe you weren't even interested in it, given how you built out this roster. But Dejon Stribling at 137. I have not been chasing him up the board, honestly. I'm a little bit more excited on Evans right now and George Kittle, but they can all get hurt. Who knows what will happen? Also, some hype on Denzel Boston right now. He's been getting much tougher to click. At 152, that's just his new ADP, and he is rising pretty fast. So might be going earlier pretty soon. You took the fall on Jalen McMillan, who did suffer an injury. Not ideal, but at 161. If you don't have a lot of bags on McMillan, now's the time to get in. Now is the time to scoop up the value. So I respect it, but a little bit risky. Isaac Tesla, unstacked, but not too bad. And then Zachariah Branch, fun player, apparently tearing up camp as well. And then this team has 3 tight ends, Tyler Warren, Isaiah Likely, and Theo Johnson. The rare Theo Johnson sighting has both Giants tight ends. And in that long-ass live stream with Who Hangs when we talk about the tight end position, we do like the Theo Johnson click. Playing the Giants tight end room with both isn't actually that terrible. But with Tyler Warren, you can get away with it. Not a bad team. Obviously, the mega bet on the Cowboys-Giants game has to work. If you do make the final, you have something to really count on. Good luck. Good luck exiting the pod. I don't mind the build. The receiver room feels a little bit scary in terms of depth, but up top it's really productive. So as long as they stay healthy, you should be in business. Good luck. Good luck, Keith. I like the team. Not bad. Not bad at all. But we mentioned Lone Wolf, also a member. He gets a team review from the 4 slot. He goes, Drake made Jared Goff. He did pass on Stafford because of that double week 11 bye. I think it was a good call in hindsight. But Travion and Kenny Gainwell, not too shabby, but a little risky. High upside, though. The fade on Bucky still feels fine. Keaton Mitchell At 124, I would not do that myself, but running back was dwindling quick. You felt the desperation. You go with 7 total. You have Tyler Algier, Jonah Coleman, Brian Robinson, and Emmett Johnson. As someone who also has a 7 running back room, I think I like mine a little bit more, but there is a world where Travion just explodes. I think it's mostly dependent, though, on an injury to Ramondre. He'll be okay, but I think as your lone guy, lone wolf, you may have a very risky, hard-to-advance running back room. It does scare me, a lot of late-season production as well. Ideally, Algier can get you there, but I think it's going to be tough to only have Travion and Kenny Gainwell in the lineup most of the time. So good luck on the spike weeks, but the depth really needs to step up, and I'm not fully sold. So running back room is a gamble. However, receiver feels strong. Puka, A.J. Brown, who is stacked, Flowers, and QJ. I'm sure Pepper Tony likes this team. But you also have Juwan Jennings at 148. I do not reach on a guy like Juwan Jennings, but receiver's been getting tougher lately. So that's a fair call, I suppose. You only have Antonio Williams, who feels gross as fuck right now with the Diggs signing. He always felt way overpriced. So even 189, I don't think I'm wanting to do it. I would wait till at least pick 200 to take Antonio Williams right now. But Darnell Mooney also feels kind of worthless, in my opinion. I only trust Malik Neighbors. I do not think Jackson Dart is good enough to be drafting a second Giants receiver right now. I think the Neighbors injury proposition was the only upside on guys like Mooney and the other Giants receivers, but I suppose he does have the front seat, the pole position, that's the correct term, to be the number 2. Maybe Nagy will unlock him like he did in Chicago. But Loveland and Laporta, the bring back and a really strong combo. Very fine stopping with those two. Tight end, receiver feels great. Quarterback also feels excellent. However, running back feels very, very gross. Not going to lie, I think you are desperate for an injury. And even when Dobbins goes down, I worry that you just don't have enough points early in the season to get the job done. If Gainwell goes down for even like 3 or 2 games, I think this team might be cooked. Because running back scares the shit out of me with those 7. It's not that inspiring. There's a lot of risk with the running back room. So good luck. If you do thread the needle, that'd be pretty impressive. Let's hope for the best. But Libra has not drafted in a while. I'm going to take a look at Libra's team, actually. Mahomes, Stroud, and Darnold. If you draft a pit bull with me, I'm usually going to take a look. But Mahomes, Stroud, and Darnold, interesting. Gibbs, Swift, Ramondre, Katron at 192, Mike Washington, and Ty Johnson. So some kind of gross picks down the stretch, but the top 3 are pretty great. Nico, Rashi Rice, Adams, Metcalf, Worthy, Shaheed, and Adonai Mitchell. Not bad, actually. Worthy feels gross right now, but it is stacked, so I suppose it's all right. And then you also got Kelsey, so the mega stack in Kansas City, not bad at all. Hawkinson, I'm not a fan of, but shout out our guest last night. Rob from Pro Fanatics is a big TJ Hawkinson bull, and maybe he does bounce back. I worry that the tight end room has no upside other than the random, 2-touchdown game out of Kelsey. Kelsey just is more of a floor play right now, but very solid. Tight end's fine. But I think the depth at running back is scary. You have Gibbs, so who cares? But quarterback's all right. It's not elite unless Mahomes just turns up again. But then tight end feels a little bit risky. This mega Mahomes stack, though, is what really saves the team and definitely gives it a chance. Good luck. I think there's actually some upside here. This team is not bad at all. Not bad at all. First, I'm going to take a look at Jiri's team at pick 2. Then we'll take a look at Nick Constantino's team. And then we'll draft in the Eliminator. But Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, and Mendoza at 215. Damn, what a pick on Mendoza in the last round. I'm pretty shocked he made it that far. That's pretty interesting. But you go Bijan and Jeremiah Love, JCM, Woody Marks, and Isaiah Pacheco. Interesting running back room. I've been fading JCM, but it appears if I want any of him, I have to reach now. So that's kind of a bummer. But it seems like he's actually going to be catching more passes than I expected. So Maybe JCM's a pretty good pick. I'm still not fully sold, but his upside any given week is still like a house call waiting to happen. So I'm starting to come around on the JCM bet, actually. I'm starting to pick him. If I can, I actually get sniped quite a bit. So I don't have many shares of JCM, but I think on this team, it's not a bad fit. If anything, if he's the right call, this could save the team, given the love exposure. But Woody Marks is Jiri's boy. I'm not a fan. I don't see the upside, even if Montgomery goes down. But Pacheco, the bet on the Lions backfield. You did not get Gibbs, so why not? At 167, he's a valuable handcuff. And then Shioni Vaki went down. If anything, that just helps Pacheco a little bit more. But the contract signed for Gibbs, I don't think Pacheco's a standalone value guy. It's just a contingent play. And ideally, Gibbs does not go down. So good luck, Jiri. I think the team is obviously strong at running back given the top two, but perhaps the advance rate on the last three is a little bit lower than some people think. Very top heavy though with Bijan. It's always fine. Receiver has Pickens, Terry, Jamo, Mekhi Lemon, Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce at 95, not bad. Jacoby Myers and Jerry Jeudy. Very fun. A little top heavy, but really talented options. The fall on Jacoby Myers could be a league winner. And then Jerry Jeudy, your boy, Jerry Jeudy. I've come around to it at 191. If he gets traded, it's definitely the best case scenario. He feels destined to get traded, but love the Kincaid selection at cost. It's definitely one of the best picks available. Like that pick in a vacuum. Just wish it was on my team. AJ Barner at 170, a very valuable touchdown score, so a good pick in general. And then in a vacuum, Pat Freiermuth also goes too late. A very legit pick at 194. Not bad. So the depth at running back scares me a little bit. Receiver, though, I think is totally fine. And then tight end has some explosiveness. And then that fall on Mendoza feels really, really fun, really valuable. So good team, Jiri, as always. Very nice. Maybe you almost got boxed out at quarterback, but that was not the case. Good luck with the running back depth, though. If you're right, you will crush. But if you're wrong, I could see this pod a little tough with some of those pieces. But Bijan sells it for sure. This is a tough team to beat. All right, last team to take a look. It's Constantino. Just because it's the Pitbull and it's a higher buy-in, I want to see what it is like with the friends and family in this lobby. But T-Lock, Kyler Murray, not bad at all. But maybe I would have liked the third, perhaps. But I'm not upset with that at all. That's totally legit. No issue with T-Law and Kyler. K. Walker, Jadarian Price, Blake Corum, Kamara Blue, and Kimani Vidal. The depth isn't the most compelling, but I do see some upside as well. Early season, Jadarian should deliver, and then if Corum just is the guy you need down the stretch, this team is fun. But Kamara, I worry, is just kind of old, but a very good click when you just need some running back points. Blue has been moving up quickly, so now's the time to take him if you want him. And then Kimani Vidal, need Hampton to go down, but if he does, will be a good valid pick at 207. Jefferson, Egbuka, Burden, Parker Washington, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Coker, and Pat Bryant. Pretty legit balanced receiver room. No issue with any of those picks. Even P-Wash at 58. Now's the time to get him there if you want him. And then tight end, I like this way to play it where you go fan and then wait till the 180s basically to take T. Ferg and Gunnar Helm. Very legit tight end room on this one too. So extremely balanced team. Not bad at all. Trusting the quarterbacks is going to be the deciding factor. If they work out, it'll work. The team will be great. Running back depth, a little bit scary, especially late season. I'm worried about Jadarian Price losing a lot of value once Sharbs comes back. And then if Kamara gets hurt, he becomes worthless. Corum might just never take over. But the team has a lot of outs as well. The team's fun. Good luck at running back, but the team is pretty legit. Not bad. Let me take one last look at my team. Do I still trust my team? Allen, Caleb, Chase Brown, Kyron, Kyle Monungai, Bigsby, Charbonnet, Lloyd, Ray Davis, Amon-Ra, Mike Evans, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Shakir, Booty, Keon Coleman, and then Kittle, Goddard. My team is a little bit all or nothing, and also my running back room a little shaky as well. But I think my team has a chance. I think overall my team is gonna compete in this one. Might not finish top 2, but I think at worst I'm like 5th. And this is a tough lobby. This lobby felt tough once we got in. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully you advance. We'll see what happens. But we're gonna hop into the Eliminator. Looks like this and the Badge Bros Brawl are filling fairly quickly. But the Eliminator probably fills even faster, because I envision a lot of people want to get into the slows before the 4-hour clock. So I'll give you all a countdown real fast. We will draft in the Eliminator in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lego. Let's draft. And we're also going to take the mantra that Jiri said here. Very, very good call. You always have to draft. Like, you're right. 100% agree, Jiri. 100%. Good luck, Jiri, in that one. Best of luck. But, yo, what's up, Bayou? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us today. If anyone hasn't followed Bayou Bengal FN or Jiri Football, we've had both of them on the channel very recently. They also did a collab together. Good friends of the channel. Highly recommend you give both of them a follow. Jiri Football and Bayou Bengal FN. Awesome live streamers, very strong takes. They build out very good teams. You will learn some things if you watch both their channels. But like the Twitch bits, only 10 jewels. I imagine they're very, very cheap. Do you guys actually have to put real money down, or does it just give it to you? I've never sent anyone a jewel. They said I qualified for a new thing on the gifting thing. I imagine that's what this was. So thank you all for sending the jewels. Appreciate it. But are we queued for drafters or waiting? We are in the elim, brother. We are in the elim. But okay, ladies first is in here. That's Sandra. Yeah, Libra is not ladies first. They both start with an L, so I think that's why I mixed it up. But in this one, we have a bunch of friends and family. We have Space Cowboy. What's up, K-Space? He pulled the 101. Lone Wolf in here again at pick 2. Libra at pick 3. Ben St. Nick at pick 4. Ladies first. Willow Logan. MSOS. I pulled pick 8. Jiri's in again at pick 9. We'll be sniping each other, no doubt. Albie at pick 10. Kenny the Jet at 11. And then a Dildo Schwaggins at pick 12 for the second draft in a row. Dildo drafting with us twice. Literally the only 2 names I don't... Actually, no, there's 3 people in this lobby I don't recognize. It's Willow Logan, MSOS, and Ben St. Nick. The only 3 I don't recognize in this one. But yeah. A reload code might be more valid than a sign-up code, right? Right, Pepper Tony? Hopefully, we can get something like that. But Willow Logan takes Amon-Ra, so I can't snipe Jiri. Somebody else did it. But we'll see. I'll take JSN at 8. I will just do that. Not afraid of that. Come on down. But PD Piranha sent Jammin' for 200 jewels. Appreciate that. Incoming fresh drafters lobby, survival lobby, if that's what you're doing. I think maybe tomorrow we'll head over to drafters. But my budget on there is dwindling. I'd have to deposit pretty soon. I think I only have like $12 on there. So I could do 1 draft on drafters. But at the moment, I think I'll just stick to Underdog. I have more funds on Underdog at the moment. But is the Hall of Fame game has it officially begun? I am not watching. But the poll should be Zona or Carolina. There's no way Arizona can win that division. It's the NFC South, not NFC West. I'm not sure what you're referring to with Zona, but A.D. Mitchell is a steal. I'm not fully sold on that, not gonna lie. Not fully sold, but yo, Ken Walker's here? Hell yeah. Even with the early buy, I don't give a shit. Achan also has a week 6 buy, so it's pretty similar. It could cost me in theory, but if I can survive week 5, I think we'll have a stud every week, so that's also important. That's also important. But Looks like Avi says the Saints are going to win that division. At the moment, that's what the poll is saying. We're up to 31% on the Saints. They are winning the poll, but it's very close. It's very tight. We have 17% on the Panthers. That is the lowest. We have 23% saying Atlanta. The Falcons are in third place. And then the Bucks are very close behind in second. They have 29%. Only one vote separates the Saints and the Bucks to win this division. I think that's correct. It could literally be anyone. But my take as well is that the Saints take it down. I think the Saints will win that division myself. That's what I believe. But Gorilla Glue, number 4. Have no idea what you're talking about. But draft Tyreek, I'm going to pass in the Eliminator. That's for sure. But Carson Beck time, not in the Elim. Maybe on that team we were reviewing, perhaps. But just because I have Harrison, I'm not taking Carson Beck. That's for sure. But honestly, the best player easily on the board there. Mendoza, I think this is who you're referring to on Jiri's team. But PD is ready to cash in on the Carson Beck over 94 passing yards. Good luck. Oh, okay. Is he already on the field? That would check out. Yeah, he's playing tonight. But that's probably going to go over. If I had to guess, that's probably... Oh, yeah, this makes a lot more sense, Jiri. The tolerance break already kicking in. If anything, that definitely makes the most sense. The weed strain reference makes a lot of sense. But, yo, what's up, Rob? Professional Fanatics is in here. What's up, boys? Early stream, let's fucking go. Yeah, tonight, a little bit different than typical. But if anyone missed our triple collab last night, we were in 3 different streams, me and Rob from Professional Fanatics. One on my channel, a second on his channel where we only went over exposures. And then the third one, he did a few drafts. I joined him for the first one. We drafted a very, very fun Pitbull roster. We had Zach Charbonnet and Jonah Coleman on that team, and it actually felt like the perfect fit for how we built it out. That team was actually pretty lit. But okay, we are in the Eliminator. Running backs go a little expensive in this one. I'm going to take Zay Flowers here. Going to snipe Jiri football on Zay Flowers. We get the late bye week. That is the tiebreaker. He goes Kyron. He's getting triple running back on his team. Genty, Saquon, and Kyron. That's kind of fun. He's not afraid of the RBs in this contest. Not at all. But Carson Beck is starting in the Hall of Fame game. This is how checked out I am on the Hall of Fame game. I don't give a shit. Maybe I'll look at the box score and maybe the play-by-play on the first quarter drives, but to watch it, typically I'm not interested. Typically, even last year, the Chargers played in the Hall of Fame game. I did not watch it. I did not watch it live. I saw the highlights. I did not watch it live. But yeah, 94 yards for Carson Beck, achievable, but you never know. We might get Minshew mania as well. But 100 yards is probably a safe threshold to bet on Carson Beck. But y'all are some degens to make some fucking prop bets on the Hall of Fame game. That's kind of wild to me. But damn, Jiri going quad RB. Maybe I don't know something, but I knew for sure he would let Cam Scatabo fall back to me. So I'll just take Scatabo. Should be healthy early in the season and gonna help me cover that week 5 bye for Ken Walker. I think we'll be okay, but don't want to fall too far behind at running back. I have JSN, Zay Flowers, staying balanced. Ken Walker, Cam Scatabo. At least it feels a little safer than Libra's team with just Jeremiah Love, let alone Ben St. Nick with no running back yet. But maybe Jiri and Dildo Schwaggins are onto something. They both go quad RB through the first 4 rounds. In the Eliminator, maybe that's just the strong way to play it because running backs dry up pretty fast. But PD is crossing the fingers. Good luck with your Carson Beck investment. Anthony says these coaches are looking younger and younger. Maybe we're just getting older. Maybe that's what it is. But nobody's long gone are the days of, like, you know, the Bill Belichick signings. You know, we're like, we have a 70-year-old. Last year we did have Pete Carroll, but that crashed and burned so hard. If anything, the youth movement clearly going to take over. But K-Space says Jiri is yachted. How we doing, neighbor? Nice to see you in here. But misconstrued. So this is Dildo Schwaggins. This it. I'm shocked, Dildo, that you changed your name to Misconstrued. I am fucking shocked. But at least the username can't be changed on Underdog. I'm glad that's the case. But it is the elim at least, so you get your running backs on this team. K-Space pulled the 101. He goes double elite tight end with Trey McBride and Colston Loveland. He also took Lamar Jackson. Interesting. Very interesting. But in this one, I definitely think Jadarian Price is much more compelling as a click. Now, maybe you are worried that, you know, what's his face burns you. But actually, I'll go Devontae Adams. I'll take a receiver here. Another week 11 bye, but just to get there would be pretty valuable. I'll let Jiri take his boy J-Mo. And then around this turn, we have two teams with 4 RBs. So there's a world where possibly I get a really nice running back on the way back that I really like. That is possible. But Kenny the Jet did take Jadarian Price. Ultimately, I'm okay with that. I think he's a decent pick in the elim, but I'm not that upset to pass on him and not get him back. If anything, it made sense for him to get sniped either at 59 or 62. Felt kind of likely, but you buy him for real money. Good luck with your prop bets, Petey. Good luck. But Kenny is in here. Let's fucking go. But we're rooting for K-Space. Danimal wants to see some magic tonight. I'll try and do you proud. J-Mo and Rome go to Jiri. I think I'm going to go Ramondre here. I'm Ramondre over Jalen Warren. And as excited as I am on Travion, I think it's still pretty valid to just bet on Ramondre as well. Especially in the Eliminator, the floor of Ramondre, way safer. The upside of Travion's fun, but the volatility is not as exciting. So I'm just staying extremely balanced here. Receiver, running back, receiver, running back, receiver, running back. One way to play the elim is just as balanced as possible. And that's also not that bad. So you can weight it more heavily versus certain positions. But so far, I feel pretty decent about the team I've built. Only the double week 11 bye with JSN and Adams is maybe the only concern. But like I said, to make it to week 11 in the first place is a decent payout. So let's hope for the best. Maybe when we get there, we draft some players that compensate, or we just get a good matchup. Maybe our opponent kind of shits the bed. But we got Avi in here. I definitely like Taylor at the 6'10 spot with that new contract. It's not bad, but he was going to show up regardless of the contract. He was a good floor play regardless of that. But Peppertoni says, not going to lie, I've never watched any preseason in my life. I've been at the gym and just been forced to have it, you know, on the televisions. That's kind of the only instance I'm ever like watching preseason. If I go to the gym and just get on the treadmill in August and it's just like force fed down your throat because it's on every television screen. If anything, that's kind of the best way to watch it because you have all preseason games that are coinciding at the same time. You know, sometimes there's like 5 preseason games at the same time and you go to the gym and you can watch all of them all at once. But I'm just going to take Justin Herbert. I'm just going to do that. Stick to the rankings. I don't give a shit. We'll give Jiri Caleb Williams. You can have it. You can have it. But JSN dropping, but I can honestly see why all those 7 players in front of him are just as good. Yeah, I think to fade JSN at pick 5 is totally reasonable. But once Amon-Ra's off the board, I think I'd rather have JSN than any other receiver. And at pick 8, just give me the falling price. Just give me the fade. Just give me the discount. That is totally fine in my book. But come on, Jerry. I gave you Caleb. Come on. You know what I want. You know what I fucking want. Let me have it. Let me fucking have it, bro. I would not blame you at all for taking QJ here, but he's still there. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. We get Herbert and QJ. I had a feeling if I gifted you Caleb, maybe it would happen. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I like that you pass on Metcalf and just take Pittman. That's pretty fun. But yo, the days of QJ at pick 89 are long gone. It feels so much better than anything else. Let me know, Jiri. Was that just a gift because I gave you Caleb, or do you just not like QJ? Given your receiver room with JMO as your number 1, maybe you don't want the volatility. I understand the floor play, but let me know. Was that just a gift? Because if it was, I appreciate it. But maybe you just actually rank Pittman higher for the sake of this contest. Fuck yeah. QJ at 89. Feels lit. Feels awesome. Who's my most drafted running back? You must not watch this channel, Jackdog. It is 100% Tank Bigsby. But yeah, the collabs last night were awesome. They were very fun. But yeah, all these players suck out here. Definitely Hampton. No, Hampton is top 4. I believe he's number 3, actually. He might be number 4. He's very high up for his price tag. If anything, that's more of a commitment. But it is definitely Tank Bigsby. Definitely Tank Bigsby. But God damn it, because that Arizona receiver that dropped that, I'm not watching, but I assume, yeah. To get pissed that someone in the Hall of Fame game dropped a pass is just pure degen, Petey. Pure degen. Thank God. I was really worried I wasn't going to get Kenny Gainwell here. Thank the Lord. Getting back in at running back, staying balanced. I could go with quarterback there, but I'm trusting Herbert. Love his his early season schedule. Week 1, hosting Arizona. Week 2, I think it's hosting Las Vegas. I don't think it's at Las Vegas, but even if it is, it's against the Raiders. And then week 3, a massive shootout against the Bills. That'll be really fun. Week 4 is against the Seahawks, so that could be tricky. If anything, I might want to build out my second quarterback with someone who has a good matchup week 4. Week 4 and week 7, kind of important actually, with Herbert on the backup. Not sure where I'm going to go yet, but we'll look at the matchups in the moment. But, boy, I'm so fucking far on the chat. Holy shit. Jiri wanted Kyron, so I'm like 6 rounds behind. Let me go quicker. Yes. Rob would know. Rob requested my exposures, and I sent them to him. He is very familiar. Last night we went for like an hour and a half, not longer, just talking about my most drafted picks. That was a lot of fun. All 5 hours with Rob last night were very fun. It is nice though to know that football's back. That is nice. But Jiri feeling high T today. No wonder you go with all those running backs. But I have Adams on this one, so Stafford would make a lot of sense. In week 4, he plays the Eagles, and then in week... yeah, I'll take that. That game should be high scoring. I'll go Stafford here as QB2. Stacked up with Adams feels great. Feels very, very nice. So week 4, he is at the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a fun shootout in that one. Maybe more of a defensive game, but I think it's more likely a shootout. And then in week 7, I'm looking at the schedule in another window. Matthew Stafford is at Las Vegas. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. When Herbert's on bye, we will get Stafford. And it's possible Herbert just also plays well against the Seahawks. That's also possible. But, all right. This team's coming together. Very balanced start. The 2-4-4-0 so far. And I'm not upset that I don't have my tight end yet. But the preseason has begun. What's up, Ruben? Yo, shout out the Iron Throne FF. That is a new YouTube channel. It is yet to post a video. However, starting in August, you're going to want to be subscribed there. We're going to be participating in the Iron Throne League with a bunch of other content creators you watch and like. We got Huhames in that one. We got Candyman in that one. We got Hartman in there. We got the Toxic Tower in there. We have Rob from the Professional Fanatics. That's the link that set up the live streams last night with Rob. That's how we got to know each other. Also, some other fun content creators. Joe Pisipius. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I apologize if I butchered that, but I believe that's how it's pronounced. Formerly of Fantasy Pros, also in that lobby, in that league, and that one's going to be really fun. A 14-team league. Oh, Steve from Fanspeak is also in there. That's going to be lit. There's some really, really good, sharp drafters in that league. I believe it's winner take all as well. 14-team league. A lot of bragging rights up for grabs in that one. But, gotcha, PD. Gotcha. Flowers and Scat, great picks. Both players are. It says Avi, I am so far behind in the chat. Holy shit. Kittle's still here. If you're scared, don't take him. But I'm not, actually. I'll go Kittle, actually. Fuck it. Every draft, there has to be one pick where you just say fuck it. But second option in offense behind Henry and Neighbors. Gotcha. Henry and Neighbors don't play together. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Referencing the Flowers and Scatabo picks. Yeah, Kenny the Jet, definitely some hoarders in this one. Honestly, I like the way it worked out for me. I think I really lucked out that Kenny Gainwell was still there at 104 for my team. But I actually really like the way that my roster shaked out at running back with the very balanced approach. But did YouTube say no more, Dildo? Did YouTube not like it? Misconstrued. If anything, your previous username was misconstrued. But Grayson, are you doing another draft after it? If you are, what app will it be on? I don't think we are. I think we only have time for this one. I got plans with my girlfriend after this, so we'll see, but I don't think so. I don't think we have time. I will review, though, one of my early BBMs, because it was requested. I'll take the floor of Mark Andrews. Early season, I would trust him. So with Kittle, I'd be a little bit scared, honestly, about the week 1 matchup, but this price on Andrews is pretty nice, actually. I still expect a decent amount of touchdowns, and I think he can just cover my ass while Kittle is out. I'll go Andrews and be fine with it. That feels pretty legit. But, yeah, no. Space Cowboy taking not just McBride and Loveland, he also took Kraft. Holy shit. K-Space. I don't understand that. I legitimately do not understand the triple tight end strategy this early. I do not get it. I think it's a little too much spent. That's a little bit too much for my liking. But Jack Dog, I guess this is Michael Jackson giving us the hee-hee. Jiri says, I miss 6th-round Parker Washington so much. I'm sure you do, Jiri, but I'm sure you have all your bags packed. I think you'll be okay. But Avi apparently does not watch enough Jiri football. Avi, if I had to guess, assumes that I will clearly win that bet. If anyone doesn't know, we've mentioned it many times this offseason, me and Jiri football have a bigger board bet, $100 at stake. Loser fronts the bill, and the bet is just straight up points, BTJ versus Parker Washington. I am side BTJ. He has P-Wash. Wish Jiri some luck. He is definitely behind the 8 ball. But PD likes the Parker side of that bet. It will be close. I think it'll be close, but we'll see. But 2026 JSN is Parker Washington. Interesting. Jacksonville, Smith, and Jigba. Nice, nice pun there. But Avi says starters usually play like a 2 to 3 series in a game, and that's it for real. It's just for backups trying to make it last 5-10 rush spots. If anything, they're only playing like one drive in the Hall of Fame game. They do not last very long in the Hall of Fame game. I don't think I'm drafting Cam Ward on this team. I don't think I want it. I actually wanted Denzel Boston. He's not there. Instead, I'll go Alvin Kamara. Early season, he should be healthy and probably going to be catching passes. So I'll take Kamara RB5 at 152. That's pretty reasonable. That's kind of just where he goes. Jiri takes the Cam Ward fall at 153. Very legit, but on my team, I wasn't desperate for it. I'm okay without it, but in this format, I understand wanting 3 quarterbacks, but I'm actually fine without it on this one. But it's like buying that fake crab meat at the grocery store. I am not a fan of the imitation crab. It's not anywhere near as good, as tasty, as real crab. It's just nothing like it. If I go to a sushi restaurant and their crab dishes have imitation crab, I do not order them. I pass for unimitation crab. Have you ever watched it being made? It looks gross. What? If you haven't, I highly recommend, if you eat a lot of fake crab meat, watch the how it's made segment on imitation crab. I think you'll stop. I don't think you'll keep eating it if you watch that. But maybe I should have taken Cam Ward, honestly. Maybe I should have done it. But I'm just going to get the stack. I'm going to go Trey Harris on this one. If there's ever a week where Quentin Johnston shits the bed, it's probably because Trey Harris delivers. And even though they both have the same bye week, I think just getting back in at receiver is a fair choice. I need some points. Inevitably, we need something. And then one of these guys better fucking hit. Week 11. Maybe they both hit when JSN and Adams are out, but getting back in at receiver feels like the wise choice. Especially with the stack. We love Herbert's early season schedule, so that's going to help us out a lot. We have to make it to like week 5 or 6, and then the rest is all up for, fate will decide how long I last in this contest. But, so Jiri says Pittman feels better as my third than QJ. No gifts. I'm always drafting the best team. Well, I appreciate it. I think QJ is more valuable, but I think from a volatility standpoint, for your team, like I said, I do think the floor of Pittman may have been more enticing. But we'll see. But maybe a little bit. I don't think I went from 6 to midnight, but there may have been some movement possibly. But your Chinese food is here. That sounds fun. That Chinese takeout, always nice. But RD Runna Isaac says, never mind, I'm blind. Not sure what you're referencing, but would you trade Stafford away for T-Law? In Dynasty, yeah, sure, why not? Stafford may only have like 1 year left in the tank, and Lawrence could be the MVP this season, so sure, why not? Yeah, give me T-Law in Dynasty over Stafford. But PD is in the business of making money. That's valid. That's pretty valid. But Isaac is asking, how many quarterbacks should you take in best ball? Depends on how you build it. I think if you spend a lot, you can stop at 2. But in general, I think I'd like to have 3. But on this team with Herbert and Stafford, I wasn't as compelled to go with Cam Ward today. But Quincy close, but I don't know. I'm not totally sure. I think I'm just going to go with like Brissett here. Brissett has way more upside and like early season's kind of all I care about. So I will take the 3rd, but I'll go with Brissett actually. I'll take a Jacoby share for what it's worth. T-Law more upside with rushing, but Stafford probably safer. Yeah, I think that's a very, very astute way to put it. But K-Space, I have legit 1% of my entire team. I rarely do this, but this is the way the cookie crumbles. Your triple... Yo, you go 4 tight ends, K-Space? You also take Isaiah Likely? Bro, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? McBride, Loveland. You should stop there. You also take Kraft and Isaiah Likely. I don't understand. I do not understand. It's not like you're facing the rest of the pod all season. So that's pretty wild to me. I would never do that. Most drafted on your team is Wilson. Gotcha. In this contest, I actually kind of like a Tank Dell, but I'm gonna just play it safe. Keenan Allen will be healthier and probably see more targets. I will go Keenan Allen. Wide receiver 6. I just need volume. I expect him to play. If it's like the last 2 seasons, doesn't matter. He's on a new team. He's getting 120 targets. That's a reasonable bet actually when you look at the history, the game logs. But I would project 80 plus targets for Keenan. How many guys this late are going to offer me that? In the Eliminator, I think Keenan is a much better bet than in the redraft or best ball tournaments. Late season, I do worry a little bit about Keenan, but early season, let's go. Especially if Alec Pierce misses time. Very valuable in the Eliminator. But you have 17% Michael Wilson. Not bad, actually. He's looking more valuable right now. Not terrible. He's been moving up the board, so that's got to feel decent. Carson Beck apparently slinging it around right now. Kind of means nothing, but I suppose it's not the worst case scenario. But imagine watching this game with 18% Beck and BBM. If you want to believe it, be my guest, but I do think Brissett probably gets benched after the bye for Carson Beck. I would assume Beck is probably the starter in the fantasy playoffs. Not sure if it's valuable though, but maybe some people are right. Maybe he is more decent than I think, but he does have a lot of experience. That's for sure. At least Halloween, says Avi, with Brissett in the Eliminator. It's definitely more valuable. Plus, maybe I need some help when Herbert's on bye. Who knows? But Tank Dell is still here. I'm actually going to go Ted Hurst. I'm a little nervous about that Jalen McMillan injury. Not gonna, just a little bit nervous. So if you told me McMillan actually misses time, that's definitely a compelling argument for Ted Hurst. If you told me Chris Godwin misses time, even more so. And that's a pretty safe bet, it feels like. However, even Igbuka might just cede some touches to Ted Hurst in theory. I trust the Bucs scouting department. I think they always strike gold. Ted Hurst will be a factor this year. I believe it. But do I play DraftKings Million Contest? I do not. I've never played DraftKings in my life. But misconstrued. Only need Beck to play the last 3 weeks. That is very legit. Very legit. Jiri can absolutely afford 3 quarterbacks because you are done at 4. Damn it! Dildo Schwaggins! No! Fuck! I really wanted Tonjes on this one. I thought to myself, maybe I don't push it, but I fully expected Tonjes to be there. Damn it. Damn it. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. To get sniped on Tonjes. Can't believe I'm upset, but that is the game we play. The gamble I made. It is what it is, but I do have Herbert on this team. And there are multiple stacking partners. I could go Kolar Bear. Don't snipe me on the Kolar Bear, please. Please, Jiri, don't take Kolar Bear from me. I imagine you're taking receiver. You go Cooper Kupp. I was always going to go Njoku, though. I was never taking Kolar. I could go Kobe Parkinson, though. I have Stafford as well. I could also do that. That's probably a safer floor play, actually. You know what? Yeah, I'll go Kobe Parkinson, actually. I have a lot of Week 7 buys with the other Chargers bets. I'll go Kobe Parkinson, actually. Week 1, if I had to guess, maybe T. Ferg is the man, but I would assume maybe Parkinson is a little bit more established Week 1 as still the tight end 1. But if I didn't have Stafford, I would have 100% gone Njoku, but to cry over a missed Jake Tonjes pick not really that important. But I do think in the eliminator, to just lock up the Niners tight end 1 every week is actually pretty valid. So honestly, I wish I just took Tonjes over Ted Hurst. I was pretty sad that Dildo Schwaggins did snipe me there, but apparently Carson Beck is cooking. I'll take a look at the box score when it's said and done, but I hope he hits 100 yards for you and that prop bet. Just got Gibbs and at 3 on drafters. Holy shit, that's wild. Jack Dog has 6%, Josh Jacobs at 6%, Marshawn Lloyd, if anyone in the world cares. Not really. K-Space says, I'm a sicko. Basically, everyone that's watching is probably a sicko, if I had to guess. But we have 49 viewers, 33 likes. I appreciate everyone for joining us today. It says we have 2 new... Did I miss somebody joining as a member? Shit. If I missed you signing up, and I apologize. I think that was oh no, that was the gifted Memby. Right, that was the gifted Memby if I recall. But K-Space paying the rake, says Petey. I revoke my belief in K-Space. I got you, bro. I just want to switch up life. If you want to burn $10, go for it. But got to get weird to win. That is also valid. What fun is drafting normal? That's also very legit. At least we're having fun. Did you take George Holani? You did at 193. But good luck, Petey. I sure hope he doesn't get... If anything, I could easily see them bench him just because Underdog makes the call and says we can't afford to give Petey $100. Get him off the field. But good luck, K-Space. Let's take a look though. At this point, I gotta look at it, but we will review members first. Lone Wolf is in here. Albie's in here. I think Kenny the Jet is also a member. I think those are the 3 we have to do. I believe Kenny the Jet. Yeah, you are a member. You are. I'm almost caught up with chat. We'll be there in just a second. Good luck, my friend. Hope they pull it out for you, K. Yeah, good luck, K-Space. I know. I really wanted it. That's the whole reason I took Kittle, honestly. I was like, I'm just going to take Tonjes at the end, and we'll be in business here. But got sniped. Unfortunately, got sniped. Only put the mortgage on it. Yeah, that's a wise decision. The projections are so sorry in Underdog. Projections legit nothing. If anything, they like to get you rolling early on, and then now you're gonna believe that you can hit it very often. If anything, it's just a tactic to get you to draft more teams and do more pick'ems that won't hit later on in the season. But okay, I do them myself. I definitely do a bunch of those in the season. I am profitable historically on the pick'ems, but Kenny the Jet, a member in here, goes Allen and Mahomes. Good luck week 1, because I could easily see your quarterback room fuck you over. Allen against Houston on the road is really his kryptonite. And then Mahomes gets the Broncos week 1 off the ACL injury. Might not be the most productive option at quarterback. So if you can survive week 1, you're in business. Obviously, it's very strong at quarterback, but honestly, I think you could actually just miss the pod. In week 2, you might not make it. 6 teams get eliminated week 1. I worry about those quarterback matchups in the first week, but James Cook, Jadarian Price, Tony Pollard, Woody Marks, Dylan Sampson, and Emmett Johnson, decent at running back. I wouldn't say it's elite, but it's decent. Pollard gets a good matchup week 1 against the Jets, so that's nice. Jadarian Price should have early season production if he's not sniped on the goal line by George Holani. The vulture option there does scare me, but Woody Marks, some people like him. I do not. Dylan Sampson, a good pass catcher, but just contingent upside, handcuff, kind of worthless until he's not. And same goes for Emmett Johnson. If anything, there's a world where Imari DiMercado is actually more valuable. So good luck with Emmett. We'll see what happens there. But running back depth, a little bit shaky. I hope that James Cook goes nuclear against Houston week 1. But CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, Cortland Sutton, Josh Downs, Jalen McMillan, Isaac Tesla, and Antonio Williams. Pretty balanced. I like the top two. Decent floors with these ones, and then the fall on McMillan. A little scary right now, but I do like him from a talent standpoint. He probably gets healthy inevitably. Tesla, though, and Antonio Williams, interesting picks, but a little low on the floor. I will say that. The receiver room, very top-heavy, counting a lot on Sutton and Downs, because the final three give me a little concern. But Kyle Pitts, Travis Kelce at 131, that's awesome, especially in this contest. And then Dulcich as the third. Can hit the flex. Structurally, it makes some sense, but there are a few picks that scare me a little bit on this one. I hope you can advance. If you do, you're in business, but week one, a tiny bit scary for me. Not going to lie. We'll see what happens, but you did mention the trigger-happy teams in this lobby at running back. Maybe that's one of the reasons why you kind of fell behind, but you can just get it done with Cook, Jarian Price, and Pollard every week. That's also possible. So good luck. I don't mind it, but I will say week one quarterback matchups scare me a little bit. That could be the Achilles heel. You could just finish like 7th or 8th week one. That'd be a bummer, but on paper, those guys are elite. It should work out. We also mentioned Albie is a member, so he gets a team review. Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, and Bryce Young. Decent. Not amazing, but decent. No issue with it. Hampton, Jacobs, RJ Harvey, Brooks, and Coleman. Interesting bet with Harvey and Coleman. I will say in the Eliminator, I much more prefer Dobbins, but I think he goes pretty early in this one, so the bet against him is not bad. Brooks is interesting, and then Jacobs and Hampton. As long as Jacobs stays healthy, that should be great. Early season, but a little bit thin at running back. I might have liked the 6th, honestly. But if Brooks just crushes, you're in business, and then those Broncos should have value down the stretch. We'll see what happens there. But Jefferson and Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson and Jalen Coker, Omar Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Tank Dell, and Jeremy Bernard. So some bets on rookies, but not the worst you could find. The double Jets receiver is scary, though. That's not ideal. But the top three, I think I do like them quite a bit. And mostly different bye weeks here. So receiver room is fine, but maybe a little bit risky down the stretch with the depth. Maybe it's a little bit tough. But Tyler Warren and Dalton Kincaid, love that combo. That's one of my favorite ways to play it. When I have Tyler Warren, I think Kincaid is like the perfect number 2 behind him. Elite floor and elite ceiling. What can go wrong? But good luck at running back on this one. That, I think, might need some good luck there. But with Hampton, you should crush, especially early season. He's going to dominate. So good luck, Albie. I think the team is very balanced. There's just a few player takes that scare me a tiny bit. But overall, it feels very strong in the starting lineup. We did have one more member, though, in here. That's Lone Wolf. So he gets priority. We have Bo Nix, Tyler Shuck, and Mendoza. Not bad at all. However, Mendoza is one of the worst picks, actually, in Eliminator because of how long he'll take to get on the field. At 167, I do not like it at all. We just saw Jerry get him at 215. So 167, kind of crazy in the elim. But maybe it's stacked up. Maybe it makes some sense. It is not. I don't understand that pick, actually. Not at all. I'd rather go Kirk Cousins in the Eliminator, to be honest. But maybe he just pays off down the stretch when you have the buys. If you can make it to week 8, you probably do get Mendoza down the stretch. But I don't love the pick at 167 in Eliminator. Bijan, Javonte, Rico Dowdle, Kyle Monunga, and Tyron Tracy. I don't love the Javonte pick at 23. That's pretty expensive for my liking. So I would not have done that personally, but I suppose running back gets expensive. I suppose I understand. Rico, Kyle Monunga, and Tyron Tracy, pretty valid. I got no issue with the room in totality. Only just the expensive pick on Javonte, but at cost, that is his ADP in this tournament. Shocking, but that is where he goes. I don't like it, though. Neighbors and Waddle. Waddle at 47 is very nice. Tet at 50 is pretty interesting. Tyson at 71, not bad. Naylor in this one, pretty volatile, but some upside. Zachariah Branch and Troy Franklin, interesting combo. And you do have Naylor stacked up with Mendoza. At least there's that. But pretty top heavy. I love the top 4. The final 3, maybe not the safest bets. You can imagine. But tight end, you waited quite a while. This was a weird draft at tight end. You took Juwan Johnson, Oronde Gadsden, and Pat Freiermuth. Good floor, good upside. Not bad at all. None of them are stacked up, though. And maybe that is a factor. But at least you have Waddle stacked up. You also have Tyson stacked up. That's pretty fun. And then good luck with the Naylor stack, but for whatever it's worth, you do have it. So as long as Neighbors is healthy, this team is pretty interesting. But an expensive RB2, decent quarterback room, though. No issue with that overall. Just the Mendoza price is gross. And then receiver has depth. It's a very balanced roster. I actually like it, Lone Wolf. That Mendoza pick is the only one I really don't agree with. But overall, it's not big enough of a problem not to be worth your time. So, good team. Decent team for eliminator purposes. Decent team, despite the heavy price on Javonte. That does scare me. We reviewed Space Cowboy in the last one. Same with Libra. So I'm going to skip over those ones. Same with Jiri and Dildo Schwaggins. But looks like ladies first, Sandra's in this one. It's been a minute since we drafted with Sandra, so let's take a look. Just because I'm feeling generous, we have Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Not too shabby. Christian McCaffrey, Quinshon Judkins, Mason, Tank Bigsby, my boy, Tank Bigsby. Ray Davis and Katron Allen. Fun roster. As long as McCaffrey stays healthy, you are in business at RB. Receiver room has Nico Collins, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Mekhi Lemon, the double Eagles combo. Not bad, and at 92, Lemon feels much better. Diggs at 116 could be worse, I suppose. He should pay off, and it is double stacked with Terry and Jaden, so not bad. Ryan Flournoy, Dontavian Wicks, and CJ Daniels. Whoa. I have never seen CJ Daniels drafted in my life, so that's new for me. I'm very surprised. Didn't even know who he was, actually. Surprised he's even in the player pool. That's pretty wild. But Dallas Goedert and Chigo Okonkwo, pretty decent at tight end. I don't mind only stopping with those two. Goddard and Okonkwo also stacked up as well. So good luck at tight end, but I think you can get it done. Receiver feels very deep and pretty strong up top, so I like receiver room. Running back, those top 3 are good enough to get the job done, and then as long as the running quarterbacks stay healthy, you have 2 top 10 plays every week. So good luck. I like the team, actually. Pretty balanced and fun. This was a weird lobby at tight end, so Goddard as your tight end 1 feels like a nice value, even at 125. A good player to trust. But speaking of the devil, let's just look at the 4 tight end build with Space Cowboy. Lamar, Daniel Jones, and Sam Darnold. Gibbs, Chuba, Pacheco, Holani, and Kalen Black. Gross as fuck. Gross as fuck. Receiver, though, has Rashi, BTJ, Michael Wilson, Romeo Dobbs, Juwan Jennings, and Kayshon Boutte. Kind of thin. Receivers 5 and 6, not that inspiring, but Brian Thomas at 72 might have saved you, and then Wilson could also pay off. Good luck with that, but only 6 of them. Definitely risky, but 4 tight ends, McBride, Loveland, Kraft, and Likely. We mentioned, at least I did, I would never do that. I would never do that. But good luck. Lastly, though, just for good measure, what did Jiri do? Caleb, Jared Goff, Cam Ward. He got the fall on Cam Ward. It's only 8 picks, but he definitely could have tolerated it with the 4 RB build. Totally legit. Those running backs are fire with Genty, Saquon, Kyron, and David Montgomery. Let's hope they all stay healthy. That's the bet against some of them. Saquon and Dave Montgomery, I could see getting hurt. Kyron could just lose his job in theory, but Genty should stay on the field. And ideally, they all stay healthy. So if that's the case, very fun room. Very nice. Receiver, though, number 1 is J-Mo, paired with Roma Dunze, Michael Pittman Jr., Khalil Shakir, Debo Samuel at 136, not bad. With Stribling at 160, that's kind of fun. And then Tyquan Thornton and Cooper Kupp. Good luck. I do not like the Cooper Cup selection whatsoever, but I understand why people talk themselves into the floor. I just don't see it. I doubt it. But Harold Fannin, Gunnar Helm, and T-Ferg, very fun team. And we mentioned it. Thank you for giving me QJ instead of Pittman. I respect the pick. I make it a lot, but I really appreciated that. And I'm glad I gave you Caleb as a little trade-off. A little trade-off for the two of us. You get Caleb stacked. I get Herbert stacked. Very, very nice how that turned out. Good luck at receiver, though. Good luck with JMO every week as your main option. I think you have enough floor plays to find a way, but I could also see just like a really rough game from JMO and maybe even Rome where like you are struggling to get 3 good receivers in the lineup. Odds are, though, you'll be okay. The running back room definitely hits the flex every week, and you only need 3 receivers, so good luck. The receiver room, I'm sure you're aware, a little risky, but no risk it, no biscuit. Very fair way to play it. Starting off quad running back, always a little tricky, but love that Caleb stack with Rome. That's pretty nice, the way that worked out for you. Am I doing any pit bulls? We actually drafted a pit bull at the top of this, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and look for it. But I also, somebody asked me if we could review some of my early season BBM teams, and so that's how we're going to close out this live stream. Before we get going, we'll do that. But let me catch up with the chat. I ignored it for a bit on the team reviews, and y'all spammed it, so I'm so fucking... Holy shit, there's so many fucking chat messages. Holy... Goddamn. Oh, right. I actually shifted it from top chat to live chat, so it's not as bad as I think. I'm probably closer. But, yo, what's up, Who Hames? How we doing, fam? Thanks for joining us today. If anyone hasn't checked out Who Hames, good friend of the channel. I'm watching him almost every day, if not every single day. Highly recommend. If you haven't subscribed to Who Hames yet, subscribe over there. On the road to 1K, and if you haven't subscribed in the first 1,000 subs, you might not know ball. That is definitely a sign that you know ball. Subscribing to Who Hames, to Jiri Football, to our boy Candyman, to our boy Bayou, to Goofy Chicken Fantasy as well. Shout out Goofy Chicken. But shout out Who Hames. Subscribe over there. Yeah, apparently you're not K-Space. Apparently you're not a member. So you've given me some super chats, but never a membership. But gotcha. Yeah, that bet, I still think I will win it. But who knows? But you still heart me long time. Thank you, K-Space. Albie forgot he took Garrett. What a catch. I imagine this is the Hall of Fame game you're talking about, but I'll see the highlights. Jiri loves his team. His team is pretty fun. Very fun team there, especially with that JMO Rome Week 17 bring back. Maybe if he makes the final, that seals it for him. But appreciate that, Jiri. Thank you very much. Enjoy your night as well. I imagine you'll be live later tonight. Subscribe and give Jiri a follow if you haven't done so yet. But Albie says, appreciate the early streams. You're welcome, my friend. Who Hames says, Sandra pulling out the late round rookie shocker picks. Sandra likes to get a little different. Sandra has some fun takes, but K-Space getting torn apart by the team review. The 4 tight ends with that much capital. Very, very interesting choice there. But if anything, y'all are making me maybe consider looking it up. But Misconstrued says, easy cash now. What do we double that on? If I had to guess, it sounds like Carson Bet hit the over from that. But I would agree, Who Hames. The membership value is probably more than the super chat. But all right, the poll has, at one point the Bucks did take over the Saints, but it looks like it's back in favor of the Saints. The poll results are there, and 60 votes, 20 people out of 60 say the Saints are winning the division. A few less than that say it's the Bucks. They took second place. The Falcons coming in third. The Panthers are going first to worst, apparently, after going worst to first. They will lose this division, according to the poll. The Saints are taking it home with that fourth place schedule. I agree. All right, let's end that poll. And as promised, we will do one last segment before we dip out. Let's take a look at my portfolio and try to find a very good BBM team that looks pretty solid. Let's look at the Underdog season, the contest, BBM 7. Let's scroll down and show you all of my BBM teams. Okay, these are all my entries. And as we scroll down, my first 4 have some really good CLV. Let me show you my first one. How about that? Let's show you my first one that I drafted on the day the contest opened. I had Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Aaron Rodgers in the last round. That's pretty nice. That ages very, very well. On that team, we took Gibbs at pick 3. Holy shit, I got Gibbs at 3 in BBM. Holy fuck, I didn't even remember that. That's pretty sweet. I took Jadarian Price at pick 70. Not bad at all. That's kind of where he's starting to go. So maybe not the best CLV imaginable, but pretty solid for a while. Rashad White's on this team at 123. That's pretty lit, but the JCM truthers will say it's worthless. I also have Brian Robinson on this team at 166. That's actually not a very good value, but Tank Bigsby at 171. That's pretty dope. I think with Gibbs, this team is totally alive. That's a fun way to look at it. That's pretty... Gibbs at pick 3. Holy shit. But then Nico Collins in the 3rd round. That's nice. JMO in the 4th. A little bit early, but whatever. Alec Pierce I took in the 7th. That doesn't look amazing right now, but who knows? It could still work out. Just be just fine. Godwin fell to the late 8th round. That's pretty dope. Golden at 118 is not bad at all. I did take Juwan Jennings a little bit early in the 12th round. That's not the best. This team also has Jeremy Bernard, but it's stacked up. And then even though I have Antonio Williams, it's in the 17th round. That's pretty sweet. That's where he's basically going right now. But this is also a Brock Bowers team. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. I also took Mark Andrews at 147. Nice. This is a fun team. A lot of CLV on this one. So a total of like 76 picks. That Gibbs at 3 feels lit. Lamar Jackson with Mark Andrews is really, really fun. JMO and Gibbs with Goff is pretty lit. And then Rodgers in the last round. Why the fuck not? So I like this team a lot. The Bowers Andrews team. This team is really cool. In BBM, let's go. Let's hope that Alec Pierce and Godwin are healthy. But the breakout on Golden feels pretty lit. And then Nico Collins comes in clutch on this one. This team is pretty fun, actually. Not too bad. But technically, it's not my best CLV team. My 3rd one drafted 3 days later had 76 picks of CLV on this one. This has a Chicago and Philly stack. That's actually a bummer because they both had the same bye week. This was drafted before the schedule was released. So I do get the bagel week 10. Kind of a bummer. But Caleb and Jalen Hurts, if anything, that might be lesser owned because of the bye week. So who knows? But you can only start one when it matters most. So who cares? Running back room has Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. That's very nice. Rico Dowdle and J.K. Dobbins at 103. That's decent. I have Keaton Mitchell at 151. I don't take Keaton Mitchell too often, but a nice price there on Keaton Mitchell. And then my boy Tank Bigsby at 175. Very nice on Tank Bigsby. This team has Devontae Smith on it, Luther Burden, and Rome Odunze. I got the double Chicago Bears stack. That's pretty interesting. Khalil Shakir at 138 is a very nice price. I got Stephon Diggs on this roster at 162. Fuck yeah, that's why I'm not taking Diggs anymore. 162 off the board with Diggs and BBM. Let's fucking go. Dontavian Wicks stacked up. No CLV though, who cares? Ted Hurst, I'm liking the pick a little bit more today, given the the Jalen McMillan injury, but I'm a little overcommitted on the Chicago Bears. I have Jade Walker on this team as well, so week 10 could be a big problem. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my receivers are on bye week 10. That's bad. That's really, really bad. I'm starting Khalil Shakir and Stephon Diggs week 10, and I get a bagel with receiver 3. That's brutal. Kyle Pitts and Dallas Goedert, though, with nice value on Kyle Pitts at 114. So this team has some amazing elements to it. It also has some brutal elements. Week 10 might just kill me. I may not advance because week 10 is really fucking bad. No points at quarterback week 10. An automatic bagel at receiver week 10. Goddard is also on bye week 10. Shit. I sure hope week 10 doesn't kill me, but otherwise this team feels lit. Let's hope so, but Updog telling me the Polar Vortex week 10 low score. Let's hope. I sure hope so, Updog. I hope that that's one of the lowest scoring weeks on the slate for the sake of this team, because if it advances, this one's fun, but shit, it might not. That's gonna be a fucking bad week. I'm gonna need Taylor and Henry to go fucking nuclear. Damn. All right, we'll see what happens. The receiver room could be better because of the week 10 buys. It's scary. But let's take a look at one more before I dip. Let's find... Recently, I have 35 picks of CLV and BBM. That was about a month ago. July 13th. What does this one look like? Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, and Daniel Jones. We got Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry again. Kyle Monangai, Alvin Kamara, and Katron Allen. Not bad. Kamara at 175 is okay. Lad McConkey on this one. Terry McLaurin and JMO. We got DK Metcalf, Casey Concepcion. I got Debo Samuel at 162. That's where all the CLV is. Christian Kirk on this team as well. And then George Kittle at 114, Chigo Okonkwo, and T-Ferg. Yeah, I wouldn't brag about this team too much. Just that Debo Samuel in the 14th round is pretty nice. But, okay, that one's fine. Yo, I have a team with negative 158 picks. What? The last BBM I drafted is that bad? What the fuck? Oh, okay. Yeah, this team has Ricky Pearsall on it. I instantly know what this is. I 100% just have Ricky Pearsall on it. That's pretty funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, Ricky Pearsall, negative 124. Fuck. Damn it. That's pretty funny, actually. Is that like my only share of Pearsall in BBM? I sure hope so. Yeah, thank God. I only have one share of Ricky Pearsall in that one. Yeah. Don't... Oh, damn. Yeah, I would agree, James. I would agree. That's funny. That one's funny. Okay, let's go back just to the early season one. We'll look at this 41 picks of CLV, and then I'll head out. This is the last one I'll take a look at. This was drafted what day? May 16th. I believe this was the day after the schedule dropped. I drafted 3 teams on May 16th, and this one has 40 plus picks of CLV. It has Drake May at 71. That's pretty nice, but still the 6th round. I have Mahomes on this team and Stafford at 122. That's fucking lit. Round 11 Stafford. Let's go. On this team, I have Bijan, Trayvon Henderson, and Tony Pollard. Chris Rodriguez and Tank Bigsby at 167. That's fun. AJ Brown on this one with Drake May. Let's go. Chris Olave at 26. Devontae Adams at 50 with Stafford. Very, very strong. I have Xavier Worthy on this team, whatever, but Shaheed at 143, that's awesome. I have Debo at 170, fuck yeah. And then I have Tyquan Thornton in the last round, worth a swing. Tight end room has Hunter Henry, David Njoku, and Terrence Ferguson. Very interesting. I basically took T-Ferg where I took Njoku, and it's all kind of a wash there. But yeah, this Debo Shaheed value feels really nice on this one. This is a good team. I like this team a lot. Drafted May 16th. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. That's going to be our last blast from the past. We'll see what happens in December with those teams. But medium rare POV, can you help me pick 3 keepers? Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd round, George Pickens in the 7th, or Chris Olave in the 10th, or Travis Etienne in the 14th. Damn. I'm going to keep Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd, 100%. And then 3 out of these 4 is what you're going with. I would go George Pickens. Actually, no. Give me Chris Olave in the 10th for sure. And then I think I'd rather have Pickens than Travis, actually. The 14th round is nice, but I think higher upside with Pickens. But honestly, all 3 are great values. If you wanted any of the 3, I wouldn't fault you at all. But there's an argument to drop Jonathan Taylor and keep the other 3, actually, just because they're so late. I think I would leave Travis alone, honestly. I think I'd let that breathe. But it's very close. Honestly, just trust your gut. But Huhames accidentally clicked the Panthers, meant to click the Saints. That doesn't check out because the Panthers were at the top of the poll, Huhames. The Saints were at the bottom. That doesn't check out. But I'll take your word for it. Yeah, the kitty's here. She wants some food. Let's bring her in frame, actually. Hello. Hello. Okay. Hello, kitty. What interface are you using to see this view of your portfolio? I'm on the solver. I do not pay for it, Young Moolah. If you want to set up an account on the solver.com/bestballexplorer, I highly recommend you upload your exposures via CLV, and it shows you your average pick for free. But speaking of another format, you can do that. Shout out Updog. Check out Updog Dog Math as well. You can also do that, I believe, on his platform. On top of it, a dope overlay. Huhames uses it. It looks very valuable. But I don't use overlays. I just stick to my gut. You get the CLV spreadsheet though on the solver. K-Space likes his team a lot. Good luck with those 4 tight ends. Huhames goes live at 4 p.m. Pacific. 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific. That's 5 p.m. Eastern. He already went live today. But thank you, K-Space. Hope the night is good as well. Yes, she wants some food. It's definitely time for a snack. All right. I'll see you guys. You got trigger happy. I understand. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and let's see who else is live right now. Let's see if there's anyone we can redirect y'all to that might be live. I'm done for the evening, but let's see who else. I'm not sure, actually. Let me check my... Honestly, I'm not sure. On my homepage, I don't see anyone that's currently live other than Yeah, I guess maybe I'm the only one on my live stream. Okay. I guess I'll just dip. But, all right. Bye. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.